And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. Hi. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Casey Abongi. Today we are going to look at something completely different. We are going away from all the DIYs and all the fashion stuff. Today we are going to talk about something really important, and I'd just like to tell you on what I think you need to consider before moving out from my own experience. So if you are new here, please do not forget to subscribe, like, share, and turn on the notification button so that you can get new videos each time I do upload new videos. So today the big elephant is in the room is moving out. Like, this is something that everyone needs to know, whether you intend to move out or you do not intend to move out, because this is something necessary, something that you can think about. It's more like food for thought. So let me tell you my story first, the background of how I moved out and how I started staying alone. So I started thinking of moving out in 2018. This was after I was on a volunteer program where a house was rented for us as volunteers, and some of the bills were paid for, like water, electricity. Almost everything was paid for apart from food. So the stipend that we were getting, which is the money that we were getting, was for food. So we used to contribute as volunteers to buy food with the people that I was sharing the house with. So after this experience of staying away from family and just being independent, I started thinking about moving out, and that it just gave me more ideas on what it means when you're staying alone and not being so independent on your parents or your family. Yeah, so I started thinking about it like that. But then after the volunteer program, I went back home and I stayed there for a few months, and after that I had to move to another town for a new job. So after I went to that town, I couldn't start staying alone because I had family there, and yeah, I just thought it would be much better to stay with family and much cheaper than starting to stay on my own. But that was a mistake that I made. I should have moved out just there and then, because it would have helped me grow even better and also just make me become a better person than I am even now. Yeah, so after I stayed where I went for like eight months, I came back to Lusaka, and I was staying with my sister and her family. I stayed with them for a month. So I came back to Lusaka in 2019 November. I started working somewhere and I was staying with my sister for a month. But this time around, I made up my mind that I was going to move out and I was not going back. So in December 2019, I moved out and I was staying alone. And so some of the things that I learned that I should have considered before moving out is one is that you really need to think before you move out. Like, are you moving out because of peer pressure, or you're moving out because you feel it's necessary, or you're moving out because you have a new job and you don't have a family where you're going? You should really think about why you're moving out, because this also will give you purpose of why you need to stay alone and not with family. Because if you move out because of peer pressure, you might end up failing and going back to your parents' house, which is not a good thing. So it is important that you know why you are moving out. You should think through and make sure that you know that you're moving out for the right reasons. And also, the second thing is that you need a budget before you move out. You need a budget. Like, you should check your savings. How much do you have in your savings? What can you afford to buy then before moving out? Like, you need to start buying certain things in advance, so you need to plan your budget and make sure that certain things are put in place, and make sure that you have a source of income so that when you move out, you won't have troubles paying your rent, buying food, and all those things. So it is important for you to plan your budget and just make sure that your savings are in check. And another thing that you could consider before moving out is whether you want to share or you want to be alone as an individual. Do you want to be staying alone or do you want to share a house with someone? In my experience, I have both sides of the story. So I was staying alone for a few months, and after staying alone, I had a friend that I started staying with, and we moved in together. And actually, it was better than what I thought. It helped me a lot. So you should consider this whether you want to be alone or you want to be with someone. Because for me, when I started staying with someone, I had better savings. Like I had a bit of extra money because we were sharing the cost for the rent, the food, and all those things, those nitty gritties. So for me, it worked out well because I was sharing with someone. And yeah, but it's up to you. You could think maybe you always need your alone space. Alone space is good also, but sharing could help you in terms of finances and saving and all those kind of things. And also another thing that you need to consider is the type of house that you want and the location. For me, when I started thinking of moving out, I was thinking maybe I'll get something like 1,500, 1,200 somewhere there, and I thought I was going to get myself a house that has a ceiling board, towels, self-contained, all those nice things, those things that you consider when you're moving out. But that's not how things were. Like when I started searching for a house, the type of house that I wanted was way out of my budget. Like it was somewhere around 2,500, 2,000, 1,800, which was something that I couldn't afford. So I would advise you to actually consider the type of house that you want and the location, because if you're too ambitious, you could just disappoint yourself when you see the kind of houses that are available on the market. And also, not only that, you need to know the type of location that you want, like in terms of accessibility. Like, do they usually have floods in that particular location when it's raining? Do they have good roads? Are you able to get transport easily so that you don't go late for work? So you need to consider all those things. Yeah, because if you don't, you might start renting a house that is way beyond your budget, and this might affect you so much. And yeah, so another thing that you really need to consider when moving out or when you intend to move out is buying small things in advance. You need to get those small things in advance. Like I learned this the hard way. I learned that the smallest things are the most expensive. For example, plates, cleaning utensils, beddings, and all those type of stuff. So you really need to put those in check before you even start thinking of moving out, because you'll be disappointed on how expensive those things can be. Not that they'll cost you a lot, but because there are a lot of small things that you need, you're going to spend more money. And like the bigger things that you need to buy, like a mattress, a stove, and those things. So for me, when I was moving out, I bought a mattress and a stove. I didn't have a bed because I thought it would be expensive at that particular time, and it was not so necessary. I was going to buy it in the long run. So you need to start buying those small things that you need. Start buying them bit by bit, so that by the time you're moving out, everything is set and you just concentrate on the bigger things. This would help you a lot, believe me. I learned it the hard way, and moving house is a jungle. So you just need to be prepared. And yeah. And yeah, so something else also that you need to prepare for is um, you should have a vision, like a plan. When you move out, what do you want to achieve? Is it just moving out just for the sake, or you want to grow in a certain aspect of your life, or you just need time to yourself? And also, this is in terms of finances, so you need to plan in advance. When you move out in the next 3 months, what would you want to see? What kind of house would you want to live in? And would you want to have? So for me, when I moved out, I didn't have a bed like I mentioned earlier. I just bought a mattress. So I had a vision that I was going to get a bed, I was going to get a carpet, and all those small things. So in the first 3 months of moving out, I was able to get those things. So you need to plan in advance what you need to get when you move out, like when you're actually out of your parents' care or your guardians or other things. Like You need to know whether you get yourself a bed or just a fridge, those necessities that you buy. So you need to plan in advance what you're going to need, because if you don't plan, it can be so overwhelming while you are moved out and buying those things all together. And also, lastly but not the least, you need to rehearse with your family when you're considering moving out. This is in terms of finances. One, you need to explain to your family that when you move out, you won't be able to support them in certain ways because you have responsibilities on what you're going to be doing. And also, you need to tell your family in advance so that maybe if they can support you financially, you should be able to get the support that you need instead of just telling them abruptly, which will not allow them to help you, because moving out is a lot. Believe me, like when I moved out, I didn't have a lot of support, like from family and whatnot. Not because they couldn't support me, because I just made a random decision. Like I just told my family randomly that I was moving out, so they couldn't give me so much support. But when you're moving out, you should consider all those things because they'll help you. And yeah, it is a good thing. Family will get to know whether they will get some type of support from you, financial support, especially when you've moved out, because everyone thinks she's independent, she's able to help the family since she has moved out. But in most cases, that's not how it is, because when you move out, you have a lot of things that you need to do also as an individual. And yeah, I would like to wish you all the best if you intend to move out. Like for me, it's like the best thing that I've ever done, and it's the best type of growth that I've ever experienced in my life. I've learned so many things, and in my next video I'm going to talk about some of the things that I've learned from moving out, some of the benefits, the pros, and some of the challenges of moving out. So if you want to see all that, please do subscribe, like, share, and comment, and also turn on the notification button so that when I post my next video, you'll just be able to see it instantly. And I would like to thank you so much for watching. Please do leave a comment or questions if you have anything you want to know about moving out. From my experience, I would be able to assist you if I have the answers. Obviously, I don't know everything, but if I am able to tell you, or I know what you can do in a particular situation, I'll be able to assist. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're intending to move out, all the best, and I hope you experience the type of growth that I've experienced. Ciao, goodbye.